cracking down on vaping and drug use among students, one Ohio school is planning random drug tests for students. So this is a Catholic high school in Ohio. Here's the deal. Students apparently are supposed to consent to this testing to enroll to do it. A letter sent home to the parents of 620 students explained this new program. They're going to be tested at least once a year for illicit drugs, nicotine, alcohol. It's almost set up more in a way like maybe professional sports where they're randomly drug tested, alcohol tested, nicotine tested. I'm a little confused by this, Judge Mary. Here's why. The consent, if that's a piece of this, it seems like the kids that are more likely to do illicit drugs, they're not going to consent. So the goody two-shoes are going to consent. Oh yeah, this is great, no problem. So what is the...
You're not coming to my school then. See, this is a private institution. It's a Catholic school. So here are the rules. You know, you sign this or you're not going to come here. It's really simple.
So that they can do that.
They're allowed to do that.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, here are the rules of our school, and you either accept them or you're not. Now, what about the public institutions?
They can't do that. Okay.
You know, and our federal government, our Supreme Court has only ruled 2 times on this issue. And the issue was and they found that if you're involved in sports, you must test. And if you're involved in any extracurricular activities, you must test as well. And they found that it was constitutional at that point to do it. But for the most part, any type of testing is regulated by state law. And the state can mandate through their constitution or through statutes what they're going to regulate and how they're going to regulate it. Yes, in this particular instance, because it is a private institution, they could test.
Now, my concern with this, they're saying they're going to test students at least 1 time per year, but you can be tested numerous times. And for me, of course, I don't want students to vape. It's dangerous for obvious reasons. But I see a potential here for students to be treated unfairly, meaning there could be one student who's tested once and then another student who's tested numerous times just because. So can you see?
I believe the standard should be there should be a reasonable suspicion that you're either under the influence or were actively involved.
But you are a fair person. I could see.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, which is appropriate.
Now I got a new name instead of
we
Mary.
don't need to drug test you, Mary.
But don't you agree? Like, if there are some people who would take advantage of this and treat students unfairly.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
And say, well, I did think that they were.
You know what, Nita? You bring up a valid point, but I think as part of it, it should be written in the testing that they have the right if they are suspicious, erratic behavior, something.
Very subjective.
And then
But
what are the benefits of this? Are there benefits for having these rules? Is it acting as a deterrent? They used to use the old Scared Straight program where they would let the kids sit down and take them to the police station. And that's not working anymore.
But
These
where's
kids
the
are too
data that
smart.
it reduces substance abuse? I'm asking.
Not yet.
Okay.
What do you think the benefit is of this?
I'm hoping it would act as a deterrent.
And I think it would for some
I can't go to
kids.
school because then my mom and dad are going to know that I'm smoking pot, or whatever else I might be doing. I'm going to think twice. That's the hope.
And I just think we need the reach to back it up.
If there's any potential to act as a deterrent, I think
try it.
Yeah, I think
But
you're
you
right.
also have to protect the privacy rights of results, where they're going to go. They can't go into your record. They can't be used to prosecute you because you've got the HIPAA laws. Nobody's got a right to know about your medical background. What if the kid's taking other drugs because of an illness that they may have that might conflict? I mean, there's a whole lot of other
I think what you're saying is if you implement a policy like this, you can't go into it willy-nilly. You have to have a really good plan in place.
Absolutely.
You don't just start randomly drug testing and then hey, let's figure out what to do once we get positive drug test results. But yeah, maybe in a few years we'll be talking on the show and say, you know what, we have great data that this is a deterrent in these particular school districts. And I wish I could say that drug testing is always 100% accurate, but it is not. And when you have those false positives, it can ruin a life. So it's just there's a lot to this. Let's take a break.